Hello guys and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host Atisham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. So the Raptors had their first back-to-back today against the Mavs at home. So without a further ado, let's talk Raptors versus Mavericks, Game 3 of the season. So the Raptors ended up losing this game. I was close in my scoring prediction. We lost it. Mavs had 103 points and we had 95. I just had the wrong team. That's my being a Raptor fan. I never want to predict they'll lose, but they did. And I'll get into why the things that I noticed, key takeaways that resulted in this loss and that are worrisome and all of that stuff. But for the people that didn't watch the game, let's give them a summary. So basically, the Raptors came out of the gate. Their guns are blazing. OG is going off. Starts off with a dunk right at the rim. He's shooting his threes. They're swishing. There's no issues going on there. Freddie's going off. Gary Trent is doing well. And eventually, by like the mid-second quarter or start of second quarter, we have about a 10-point lead. And that's when, the Mavericks start to slow down the game. So Lucas Shah's doing the thing that he does, and that is slow it down. He knows he's gonna get double, so somebody's gonna be open. Get him the pass, and they'll get it in. By the end of the second half, the first half, he had more assists than he had points. So that tells you he was just looking to facilitate the ball. And eventually they kept cutting in, and the second half, by the end of the first half, the Raptors were only up by 6. It was 51-45. Then we come out in the third quarter, and it's back to back, and you can see the guys just getting exhausted. And Luka starts to go off. I think he has 18 points or 16 points in the third quarter. Tim Hardaway Jr. just can't seem to miss from the 3-point line. He was 6 of 9 by the end of the third quarter, and the Raptors kind of fall behind by like 6 points, and eventually by the end of the third quarter, on a sweet play that I'll get to, the Raptors end up tying the game 72. Getting close enough, which was 72 for the Dallas and 70 for the Raptors. And then the fourth quarter, it was the same thing as the third quarter. The Raptors were exhausted. They're missing free throws that are just clanking off the rim. They're leaving their shots short. They're getting to the rim, but they just don't have that elevation. So they're leaving it, on the back of the rim, or, just hitting underneath the rim, and they're not finishing, even though they're getting in. We had a little bit of a flurry at the end of the, close to the 4th-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and that was Scotty Barnes just trying to get to the rim and, finishing and everything like that. But and Freddie doing a little bit of things, but by that time our guys were exhausted. They were done. And eventually the Raptors just, fall short, 103-95, and they lose this game. Honestly, this is a back-to-back, so you can't really go into too much of what the guys can worry. Like, you can't worry too much about the Raptors down the line because of this. It's one game. It's the start of the season. You expect the guys not to be in the greatest shape in regards to back-to-backs, and we had a long break before the season started for us, and the travel and everything like that. It plays a role in the players being able to be fully ready to go and everything like that. So you could see, and this is my first takeaway. I don't understand Nick Nurse's adamancy, or being adamant to continue to drag his damn starters into the floor. In a sense, he has bench depth. I do not understand why he is still not playing them. That's where I understand he possibly wants to have all of these starters ready for the games, back-to-back games that come later on in the year. But come on, you need to use them when you can see guys like Freddie holding their shorts putting their hands on the knees. Even Scotty Barnes, They had OG doing the same thing. Those guys are putting too much energy on the defensive end. So, of course, they're going to get tired on back-to-backs. I understand you want to give them that chance to, be ready, be fit. But come on, dude. You got to use Sam Decker. You got to use Malachi Flynn. You got to use Justin Champagne. He benched Boucher after 8 minutes and didn't play him the rest of the game after the first quarter. Like, come on, man. You got to learn to use your guys better than that. And that's kind of leading to my second takeaway, which is the bench is struggling. And I find that the bench is struggling because they are not playing together as often as they should be. You have Goran Dragic coming in, who I get, he's a veteran player, and I love the leadership he showed on the bench today, where he was talking to the guys. But if you want to make Malachi into your next, backup point guard, you need to give him that time, and he's used to playing with these younger guys since preseason, training camp and everything like that, summer league. So you need to give him that ball and let him run the floor. I don't understand, and that's leading to the bench not scoring. We had, I think it was 18 points max, up from like Mihailuk, Goran Dragic, and I think it was Bonga with 2 points and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't great, and our bench is struggling since the start of the season, and that's because they don't, they're not playing together enough minutes together. And I understand that kind of goes into Nick Nurse's not wanting to play those players and just dragging, pushing his starters to the limit, and that type of stuff also leads to injuries. So the second takeaway again is like the bench isn't doing that well, and the bench needs more time and consistency in the rotation, in the sense of the players need to be able to play together, and that should be led by Malachi Flynn, at least in my opinion, not Goran Dragic, because Goran Dragic is just here as a star, stop until he gets to his next team where he can actually win a championship. The third takeaway that I see here, and it seems like it does happen in every game. It happened with the Wizards, it happened with the Celtics, is when the game slows down, the Raptors tend to struggle. Defensively, they're still, there. Today they were just exhausted, so there were a lot of breakdowns on the defensive scheme, and people were, the other team was getting to the rim and open 3-pointers and everything like that. But the Raptors struggle in their half court, offense. You see there's not enough decision making going on. Freddie's getting to the rim, but people aren't going to the spots that they're supposed to be going to, and we're going late in the shot clock. Execution isn't that great even when we do get a shot near the rim, because we're not finishing with it, and that has a lot to do with the spacing on the floor, as well as the players instantly knowing each other, and that's going to come with time. But that is something that I identify that has happened, consistently. When the game has slowed down, we tend to, start to, and we give up shots, open shots that we have. We're, constantly still trying to play that, transition type basketball in half court. And it's kind of leading to us, going into these lulls on the offensive end. I understand we are a transition team, but still, we need to learn how to be able to play in the half court, because teams like, for example, Denver, Lakers, those teams play slow basketball, and we need to be able to hang in with them, and we're not going to get transition buckets every time. The good thing I saw was that, Freddie is starting to take a little bit of the step of becoming the next Kyle Lowry. He is becoming more of a facilitator, and then he tries to get his own. At least that's what he did in this game. He waited until the third or fourth quarter to start doing his thing. And I think that is a good step forward. It needs to continue for other guys to get theirs. And Freddie needs to take that initiative as our primary ball handler, as well as our primary point guard and the leader, to be able to do that for all the other guys. So those were basically my 4 takeaways: 3 bad, 1 good. But let's end on a high note. Let me talk about a few highlights that were freaking sick, okay? So there was this one play, I think it was in the third quarter, where Freddie and Precious play with each other. No, play together, and Precious had the ball in his hand, and Freddie fakes a handoff. Turns around. This is Precious, and then he turns around, gets to the middle of the paint, and then Precious, puts the ball right through Porzingis' legs, nutmegs his ass. Freddie gets a layup, and that was sweet. It looked damn good, and that's how we played. But by the time we got to that point, we were tired as hell. The second one was basically when we got the third quarter was ending and it was 70. We ended the third quarter at 70 to 72, and it got, the play was sick. So there was, I think it was 3 seconds left. We get a rebound. Freddie is running down. He gets to the half court, but he sees Precious just zooming down the court, and he just tosses it in the air. Sorry, guys. For a lob for Precious. Precious grabs it in the air, and then boom. And the crowd goes wild, and that's when we thought we had a little bit of momentum. But again, guys got tired, so it was, we didn't do that well. But that play was in a highlight. That was damn sick. And the last one goes to Scotty Barnes. He gets in the middle of the paint, fakes Luka, and goes straight for a dunk. He literally did it almost from the free throw line, his jump, and his two-hand slam, boom. Performers of the game, I guess there wasn't an MVP, but OG looked good. He had 20 points in the first half. He didn't score in the second half because Dallas concentrated on him. Scotty Barnes, once again, 17 points in the game. A lot of them coming at the late, trying to push us back into the game. And Freddie had a pretty good game, 20 points. Again, he wasn't as economical as he should have been, but he was still pretty good and facilitating the ball and everything like that. I think the Raptors lost this game because, one, of their getting tired, and second, the referees are a bunch of douchebags. There are some horrible, horrible calls. There was this one play where Porzingis grabs OG's face and knocks him on the floor. No review. Like, come on, dude, that's a flagrant foul. Then there's ticky-tacky fouls that they're calling, and everything is just going Dallas's way. And then they're reviewing plays for, Luka and everything like that. Like, come on. The refs need to be more equal. Like, Scotty's getting smacked under the net, and they're not doing anything about it. It's horrible how the refs tend to do the Raptors, technically. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much what I have for you guys for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave your comments in the comment sections, and I will see you guys for the Chicago game on Monday. Predictions, like a Raptor fans, I'm saying Raptors are coming back with a storm. We win that game 110 to 102. 110 to 102. Keep that in mind, guys, and I will see you guys on Monday. Keep talking them Raptors.